The year 1898. Deep inside the uncharted and lethal African wilderness, the British were gearing up to drop their biggest dream project ever. A massive railway line stretching all the way from Kenya straight into Uganda. Ripping through dense forests and mountains, this absolute megastructure was actually dubbed the Iron Snake by the locals back in the day. The main mission of this massive flex was building an insanely huge bridge right over the Tsavo River. To lead this history-altering mission that would completely flip the script on Africa, a British engineer named Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson touches down on the continent. And alongside him, thousands of workers from India and all over the globe literally set up camp right inside that heavy jungle. Completely ignoring the terrifying vibe of the wilderness, they ground it out day and night like absolute maniacs. Massive tents went up, jungles got cleared out, and those iron tracks started laying down one by one. Shattering the dead silence of the African savanna, the only thing echoing around was the sound of metal smashing and human chaos. That giant crew had a crazy level of ego. They honestly thought no wild jungle could stand a chance against them, believing human brainpower and brute force could literally tame nature. But they were completely clueless about one major detail. They didn't just step into some random forest. They had straight up trespassed into the personal empire of the world's most dangerous predators. And this human invasion? Yeah, the real kings of that jungle were absolutely not vibing with it. Sure, in broad daylight, the humans totally owned the area. But the second the sun went down, that African jungle started showing its true, terrifying colors. After sunset, that place basically morphed into an absolute hell of pure terror. From the pitch-black darkness just past their camp bonfires, they started picking up on some seriously weird and creepy movements. The workers started getting this eerie feeling that the jungle had gone unnaturally silent, and that something out there in the dark was just constantly staring at them. Even the sound of leaves rustling in the wind was enough to trigger pure panic in their minds. And this was literally just the warm-up for one of the most horrifying tragedies in world history. Those poor workers had zero idea about the shocking truth that their bloodthirsty, invisible enemy was just camping out in the dark, waiting to ambush them at any given second. Everything at that camp was going completely normal until things suddenly flipped upside down. In the pitch-black dead of night, workers sleeping in their tents started vanishing in a totally mysterious way. At first, everyone just figured it was a regular wild animal attack, or maybe some worker got fed up with the brutal grind and just dipped through the jungle. But the next morning, when they saw those deep blood trails going from outside the tents straight into the woods and found the horrifying drag marks of something super heavy, the dark reality finally hit them. Whatever hunted them wasn't a normal animal. Something insanely dangerous was hiding out there in the dark, waiting for them. With every passing night, absolutely nothing but death was waiting for them. Welcome to Neutrix Vision. History isn't just about the past, it's an absolute goldmine of unsolved mysteries and world-changing events that still hit hard today. To join us on this journey of bringing these dark historical truths and mysteries straight to you in a premium documentary style, definitely don't forget to subscribe to the Neutrix Vision channel right now. Following those blood trails deep into the dense jungle, Patterson and his crew saw something that completely blew their minds and made their blood run cold. The masterminds behind all that absolute brutality were two giant male lions, and looking at them, it literally seemed like they had special training just to hunt and eat humans. Unlike normal lions, they didn't have those big manes around their necks, but in size and power, they were double. Just looking at them would make your soul shiver. Two literal man-eating monsters. Having already tasted human flesh, those two lions weren't just looking for their prey out there anymore. They fully realized exactly how ridiculously easy it is to hunt down unarmed humans. As soon as this terrifying reality came out, an unimaginable wave of panic completely took over the camp. Those poor workers, grinding like crazy all day long, couldn't even shut their eyes for a single second once night hit. As soon as it got dark, the only thought terrifying them inside was that those two man-eaters were out there lurking in the shadows, waiting to make them their next victims. To escape that absolute hell at any cost, they built massive barricades out of thorny bushes all around their tents, basically holding on to their lives and just waiting for that terrifying night to pass. The workers totally thought those giant thorn fences, called bomas, and the all-night campfires were actually going to save them. But unlike regular animals, these man-eaters literally didn't give a single damn about the fire. They cracked this entire human defense system with such an insane mastermind IQ that nobody could even believe it. Effortlessly vaulting right over those massive thorn traps and completely thrashing the tents, they started breaking straight into the camp. They were officially out of their stealth era and just started hunting humans right out in the open with zero fear and absolute raw brutality. Trying to figure out their next move, the entire camp was left completely paralyzed. The nights at that Tsavo camp were straight up turning into an IRL hellscape. If there was even a micro sound out in the dark, every single worker sitting inside their tent would literally stop breathing. When those predators clamped their jaws on their co-workers and dragged them off, the rest of the crew was totally helpless, forced to just sit there and watch it happen right in front of their eyes. The soul-crushing screams of people getting dragged alive into the pitch-black jungle, and the absolutely sickening sound of their bones getting crunched, it all just echoed brutally through the whole camp. Paralyzed by the panic that they were going to be next, literally nobody even stepped out of their tents to try and save anyone. As the days dragged on, the hunger and bloodlust of those lions leveled up to something truly terrifying, and the death count just spiraled completely out of control. In the beginning, it was just one lion breaking into the camp, but eventually they started tagging in as a duo, launching coordinated attacks on different sections at the exact same time. For the thousands of guys out there to build a railway, it was now crystal clear that they were dead stuck in the world's most dangerous death trap. It didn't matter how huge of a bag you tried to offer them. They made a group decision that they were absolutely not risking their lives to stay there for even one more night. And just like that, the biggest British dream project got completely shut down right on the spot. When the terror literally peaked, total chaos just erupted inside that Tsavo camp. Going days without sleeping, living in pure panic, wondering, am I going to be the next target? The whole vibe had become totally unlivable for the workers. Once it was completely guaranteed that staying even one more day in this death zone meant they wouldn't make it out alive, those workers just straight up dropped their tools right where they stood. Grabbing whatever rides they could snag, jumping into bullet carts, or just full-on sprinting on foot, hundreds of people basically fled for their lives all at once. And just like that, the railway construction that had been grinding non-stop for months was officially completely dead in the water. That massive area, which used to be buzzing with human chaos and heavy machinery noise, was now totally abandoned, looking straight like a graveyard. The giant iron tents and tracks they left behind were just lying there, completely orphaned in the dead silence of the jungle. That camp had legitimately turned into a ghost town. In the entire history of the ultra-powerful British Empire that basically ran the world, this was honestly one of their biggest L's ever. their massive dream project on African soil, the one they were dumping millions into like it was nothing, had literally just surrendered to two animals. Human engineering brainpower and cutting-edge tech just completely flopped against the absolute wilderness of the African jungle. Even back in London, right inside the British Parliament, the news about these Tsavo man-eaters blew up into a massive talking point. Among the local African tribes, it even sparked this crazy, terrifying superstition. People genuinely believed that these two lions weren't even animals, but an actual curse sent by dark jungle sorcerers to punish the British for forcibly invading their land. This whole situation basically had the British government totally shook. Now, the entire weight of this massive project landed squarely on the shoulders of that engineer, John Henry Patterson. Even though hundreds of guys had just rage quit in pure panic and bailed in a single day, he made the call to hold down the fort in that same camp with his small crew of hyper-loyal workers and guards. It became crystal clear to him that unless they completely wiped out those man-eaters, no matter what it took, this iron snake wasn't moving forward a single inch. With his own hands, he cleaned his guns and got them fully prepped for the hunt. Coming all the way from Britain as an engineer to build a massive bridge, Patterson made the absolute shift to turn himself into a full-on hunter just to save the lives of the tiny squad standing with him. Hunting down and totally deleting those two Tsavo demons was the only mission he had left. And after that, the jungles of Tsavo witnessed the biggest, most historical face-off between man and nature. Patterson and the tiny squad he had left were fully locked in for their ultimate boss battle. They started dropping a whole series of absolute death trap setups all around the perimeter of the camp. Massive, heavy-duty iron cages were deployed to capture these man-eaters alive, baiting them with wild buffalo meat completely laced with lethal poison. On top of that, Patterson rigged up these special sniper platforms high up in the trees of the thick jungle, giving them a crystal-clear POV of everything, even in pitch-black darkness. Literally, their only mission was to bag these demons by any means necessary. But these lions straight up left them completely shook, because they weren't just some basic wild animals. They were highly intelligent, ruthless monsters, literally predicting every human move and switching up their strats on the fly. Reading Patterson and his crew like a book, those man-eaters completely bypassed every single trap with zero effort and just kept on racking up their kill count. These beasts were constantly flexing on them, making it super clear that human IQ meant absolutely nothing out here. They were now 100% convinced they weren't fighting animals, but legit demons with human-level intelligence. Chilling on that tree platform in the pitch dark, clutching his rifle and literally holding his breath, the horrifying reality was finally hitting Patterson. He wasn't the one hunting these man-eaters at all. These lions had completely flipped the script and were heavily outsmarting him, hunting him like prey. In the absolute void of that African jungle, even the most micro sound dropping nearby became next-level nightmare fuel for them. Multiple times he caught two glowing eyes dead staring right back at him from the terrifying darkness below. With his heart literally pounding out of his chest, he watched these massive lions ghost right under his feet without making a single sound. He knew for an absolute fact that one tiny flinch, or even just clearing his throat, would instantly aggro the beasts below, letting them leap up and snap his neck in one go. For Patterson and that tiny squad running guard duty below, those nights were pure, unfiltered trauma. And just like that, weeks and months of pure paranoia kept dropping one by one. Endless plans, traps, and complex strats from Patterson and his crew, literally all of it just flopped massively against these man-eaters. Even after pulling all-nighters for days, camping in the freezing cold on trees with rifles, they couldn't even land a single scratch on these demons. Mentally and physically, Patterson was straight up completely cooked.
totally ditching their old stealth meta of attacking from the shadows. These beasts had officially learned how to just frontline rush and hunt humans face to face. It became crystal clear to him that the whole stealth hunting strat was completely dead, and a massive, head-on boss fight against those two monsters was 100% locked in. To save his own life and the few remaining guys standing by his side, they absolutely had to delete these demons for good. He finally fully accepted that reality.
December 1898. After literally 9 straight months of massive L's, the moment finally arrived. With all the workers having rage quit and fled for their lives, those starving man-eaters started pushing back toward the camp. But the holdouts who stayed had locked down their security so hard and were hiding so stealthily that the lion literally couldn't even drop an attack on them. Eventually, the man-eater packed up a donkey tied at the edge of the camp and dragged it straight into the jungle. Leaving the carcass half-eaten, the lion definitely hadn't abandoned its kill for good. Patterson was 100% dead set that the beast was going to slide back the next night to finish its meal. The scent of that blood had completely overpowered the entire area. Flipping his strat instantly, Patterson rigged up a sniper platform for himself in a massive tree right next to the bait. Swearing that no matter what, only one of them was making it out alive tonight, he just camped out there with his weapons on standby. He knew for an absolute fact that if he completely choked this time, he was automatically the man-eater's next victim. It was literally nothing but pitch-black darkness and freezing, bone-chilling cold all around. He was hyper-fixated, tracking every single micro-movement in that jungle. Just past midnight, slicing right through the dead silence, that massive man-eater slowly phased out of the shadows. Completely clueless about the gun barrel aimed right at his dome, the monster just kept creeping toward its prey. Shaking in the tree up above, Patterson locked in his aim perfectly and just pulled the trigger. The deafening crack of that gunshot echoed out, literally shaking the entire pitch-black jungle. The aim was absolute aimbot. That first bullet ripped straight through the giant lion's body. Roaring insanely out of pure agony, it bolted right back into the deep woods. Patterson could clearly hear the blood-soaked beast thrashing and finally crashing down somewhere deep in the jungle. After a massive 9-month wait, for the first time in history, a human strat had actually worked against these man-eaters. When the sun came up the next morning, Patterson and his remaining tiny squad followed the blood trail straight into the jungle. Right there, they spotted the first lion lying completely dead from the gunshot. Looking at that absolute unit of a 9-foot monster, they were left completely speechless. Seeing that the demon who stole their sleep for so long was finally deleted, the surviving crew just completely hyped up and celebrated. They genuinely thought they could finally catch some peaceful sleep. But on Patterson's face, there was literally zero trace of happiness, because he knew perfectly well that this boss fight was absolutely not over yet. Having lost his duo, that second lion was now completely solo in the jungle. Watching its partner die, that second man-eater was about to totally lose its mind and demand blood for blood. And that dark, terrifying reality was starting to eat him alive from the inside all over again.
Taking out that first man-eater gave the Tsavo camp a tiny breather, but honestly, it was just the prequel to an even bigger disaster. After losing its duo, the second lion's whole vibe got infinitely more terrifying. Completely blinded by revenge and pure starvation, this demon ditched the stealth tactics and decided to just straight up hunt humans out in the open. Its absolute nightmare roars started echoing around the camp way louder than ever before. Desperate to keep his tiny surviving squad alive, Patterson rigged up a brand new sniper platform up in another tree for this ultimate final boss fight. After days of just straight-up waiting, that terrifying night of absolute judgment finally pulled up. Slicing right through the dead silence of the jungle, making zero noise, that second lion ghosted its way right up to the platform. Waiting up there with his rifle, it was like Patterson literally stopped breathing in those moments. Standing dead at the bottom, that absolute unit of a lion literally looked like a massive mountain in the pitch black. Out of nowhere, from all the way down there, the man-eater's glowing eyes snapped straight up, locking dead onto Patterson. Having fully mastered the art of hunting humans, the beast locked onto its target, let out a demonic roar, and just launched itself straight at the platform. The exact microsecond the lion made that lethal jump at him, Patterson locked in his aim with shaking hands and just unloaded his clip. The bullets definitely shredded straight into its body, but the monster just completely raged out, trying even harder to absolutely maul him. Unable to tank the massive weight of the lion, the platform he was standing on started snapping and collapsing completely. Literally 1 second before slamming into the ground, Patterson dumped the last of his bullets straight into the lion's chest. With those bullets ripping straight through its heart, the man-eater totally collapsed right on the spot. The second Tsavo demon was officially deleted right then and there. And after what felt like an eternity, pure peace finally dropped back onto that land. The second the terror of that absolute death parade caused by those two lions ended, the workers who had panic fled slowly started pulling back up. That massive railway bridge over the Tsavo River was finally fully built, and the iron snake pushed right through the fear of that jungle. But those two lions got permanently locked in as the most terrifying man-eaters in global history. After taking out those beasts, Patterson actually kept their skins and skulls fully secured. Then years later, they got handed over to the Field Museum in Chicago to be put on display. Even today, the stuffed bodies of both those demons are still chilling in there. So, how did you vibe with this absolute nightmare story of the Tsavo man-eaters? Definitely don't forget to drop your thoughts on this terrifying lore down in the comments. If you don't have time to type out a whole essay, just drop a thumbs up emoji or literally just a dot in the comment box to show some love. And yeah, if this video hit hard, definitely use YouTube's new Hype This Video feature to show us some support. Make sure you absolutely smash that subscribe button on Neutrix Vision for more insane weekly documentaries just like this. We'll catch you next week with a brand new drop, but until then, signing off.